Actually, this is not Phil Vischer, but if you're a fan of Phil, you probably recognize that familiar opening to each of his podcasts. Hello and welcome, fellow fans of the Phil Vischer Podcast. My name is Jason, and thanks for watching my video. First of all, if you just happened to stumble upon this video or someone you know sent you a link and you've never heard of Phil Vischer before, go check out his website and his podcast at philvischer.com. Then come back here and find out what this is all about. Now, if you know Phil, you know he likes to start his shows with a theme song, and I made a special one just for this video. Here's the story about a guy named Phil who was known for making talking vegetables. He thought he could become the next Walt Disney, but then he lost it all. So Phil went searching for what was next, but he knew he couldn't just dream it up on his own. So he spent his time in prayer and read his Bible. He wanted God's will to be shown. Then God told Phil to hold his dreams more loosely and not to let God be less important than his wish. He should live his life following in God's current, just like a jellyfish. Now Phil is back to telling us his stories about God's word and things we all should know. He's got new videos, a website, and a podcast, and that's the way he began the Phil Vischer Show. The Phil Vischer Show, Phil Vischer Show. That's the way he began the Phil Vischer Show. Now, if you're familiar with the podcast, you'll be aware that there are only 3 microphones available in the studio, and every time a guest is on the show, it means that Christian has to give up her seat and mic and leave for the rest of the podcast. Well, I decided last week I felt compelled to start this campaign to do something about that. So, Phil's podcast is completely free of charge, and I thought it would be a nice gesture from his listeners to do a little giving back and see if we could raise some funds for another microphone. I did some shopping online and I found that a good quality studio mic can run around $1,000 to $1,500. And that's just a guess on my part. In addition, it'd be nice if we could raise enough for the mic, stand, the cord, and the windscreen and everything that goes with it. So here's how it's going to work. Take a look at the pledges on the right side of the screen and see what level will work for you. I wanted as many people to be able to contribute as possible, so there's several different options depending on your ability. And it's really just as simple as that. And whatever we raise is going to go directly to Phil. So if we get to $1,500, great. If we get over that, even better. So just do what you can. Now, typically with campaigns like this, there are donor rewards or prizes as a thank you for your contribution. And I don't really have anything to offer, since this was really just meant to be a gift for Phil. However, last month, Sky and Christian were trying to convince Phil on the podcast to start a giveaway campaign for t-shirts and videos, and I thought that those would make good prizes. So I went back in the podcast archives and wrote down a few of the t-shirt phrases that they discussed on the show, and I took the liberty to make up some designs. Now, these are my own creations, and I don't have permission from Phil to use these, so all I can do is show them to you here now. But maybe if he and the gang like them, we might be able to make something work. Since they ran into some rule problems with giving them away on their podcast, I thought this venue might work as a good alternative. But I'll have to wait and see on that point, so check back here later to see if there's been an update on the donor gift situation. Until then, please make a pledge for Phil's podcast microphone for whatever option you feel suits you best, and share this with your friends. I think we can all agree that we've been blessed by Phil in one way or another, and I think this is just a great way of saying thank you. Thanks, Phil.